Good morning to our viewers in Asia and hello to others watching from around the world. Welcome to ARIRANG News Break. I'm Han-daeun in Seoul. We start with the 2016 general election. With just 2 days remaining until the election day, candidates are going all out to win the hearts of swing voters across the nation. And our Shin Se-min tells us this year's poll is expected to be hotly contested, especially in and around Seoul.
There are now fewer than 48 hours until polling stations swing open for the 2016 general election. With the clock ticking, the parties are still unsure over which way a number of key battlegrounds will vote. Over half of 122 electoral districts up for grabs in the Seoul metropolitan area and others dotted around the country are too close to call which polls within the margin of error. Despite this, the parties have revealed how many National Assembly seats they expect to win. The ruling Saenuri Party says it expects to win around 145 seats, falling short of securing a majority within the 300-seat assembly. The main opposition, Minju Party of Korea, said it might end up winning fewer than 100 seats. The minor opposition People's Party predicts it will grab 35 seats. The leaders of the parties are stepping up their campaigns ahead of Wednesday's vote. Chairman of the ruling Saenuri Party, Kim Woo-sung, will be stumping for his party's candidates in the southeastern cities of Ulsan and Busan, as well as Jeju Island. The Minju Party of Korea's leadership will sweep through tightly contested districts in Seoul and Gyeonggi-do province. It'll also canvass Jeju Island. The co-chairman of the minor opposition People's Party, An Chol-soo, will be hitting the streets in Seoul. Shin Se-min, ARIRANG News.
And as last-ditch campaigning goes on around the country, the National Election Commission has revealed this year's poll will cost taxpayers more than $280 million. The commission also says some 340,000 extra people have been drafted to help organize and oversee the election. Around 67 million ballot papers and 320,000 campaign posters have been printed. Those long banners you see on the side of the road, 14,000 of those have been made. This year's general election, set for Wednesday, will have a record number of eligible voters at 42 million. Stay tuned to ARIRANG News over the next few days for all the build-up and all the results as they happen. A group of mostly North Korean women who worked at a restaurant in China defected to South Korea late last week. More reports are trickling in about the defection, and our Kim Mo-kyun tells us securing employment in a restaurant overseas is considered a great job for North Korean women, but securing a position is far from easy.
More than 20,000 North Korean women are said to reside in China to earn foreign currency. Among the various positions, competition is highest for jobs in overseas North Korean restaurants.
Since the working conditions in overseas restaurants are considered quite good among North Koreans, one has to come from a good family.
Citing sources familiar with North Korea, South Korea-based news network YTN reports that aside from family background, employees should be qualified in terms of education, physical appearance, and be able to sing well. With the intense competition, applicants also tend to get into debt in order to offer bribes to the authorities. However, the employees are known to only receive 10 to 20% of their salaries, since 70% is taken by the regime for miscellaneous causes. But with the latest set of international sanctions imposed on Pyongyang, the salaries of these employees are at risk if the restaurant does not meet its payments requirements to North Korea. It means the recent mass defection of North Korean employees to South Korea and the attempts that could follow could affect the restaurant operators, mostly senior figures among Pyongyang's elite. Kim Mo-kyun, ARIRANG News.
The foreign ministers of the Group of 7 industrialized nations have agreed to work as a united front against North Korea's continued provocations. According to Japan's Kyodo News Agency, Japanese Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida told reporters after the first G7 session in Hiroshima that the ministers criticized Pyongyang's nuclear and missile threats, as well as its human rights abuses, and demanded a concrete response from the regime. Kishida also said the ministers shared opinions regarding China's territorial ambitions in the South China Sea and stressed the importance of maintaining order based on international principles. On the back of Korea's expansionary monetary policy, the amount of cash circulating the country has hit a record high. According to data from the Bank of Korea, the figure stood at roughly $80 billion as of the end of February, up slightly less than $1 billion from the previous month. The record amount of paper money circulating the country comes as the central bank is holding its key rate at a record low of 1.5%. It's also introducing other easing measures to prop up the economy, such as expanding its lending program for small and mid-sized firms. If you're watching us in Korea, you can breathe a little easier today. Air quality over much of the country has improved, prompting the Ministry of Environment to lift a fine dust advisory that had been in place for 4 straight days. The smoggy layer of air was pushed away by a high-pressure system making its way toward the Korean peninsula from northeast China. This is great news for those of you wanting to enjoy some of the early spring sunshine. However, people on the East Coast have a 60% chance of seeing rain today. Today's high in Seoul will reach 19 degrees Celsius under mostly sunny skies. That does it for this edition of ARIRANG News Break. Thanks for watching. Stick around for more in-depth news coming up at noon.